Captain Musa Sankara watched the Kosyam Palace from afar, sitting in a worn cafe in Ouaga 2000. 15 years in the Burkina Faso army, and now this was all it had come down to. Secret meetings and whispered plots against the regime of Ibrahim Traoré. "Would you like anything else, Captain?" asked Baba, the cafe owner who had known him since he was a boy. "I'm leaving now." Musa left some coins on the table and stood up. The situation in Burkina Faso had been getting worse every day since Ibrahim Traoré took power. At first, Musa had supported the change like many others, tired of the growing insecurity. But the promises of stability had turned to dust, as had the people's hopes. As he walked to his apartment in Tampuy, he ran through the list in his head: Colonel Diallo, Major Ouedraogo, Lieutenant Konate, and Sergeant Bamba. Trustworthy men. Men willing to risk everything for their country. The cell phone vibrated in his pocket. It was Ahmed, his younger brother. "I need to see you urgently. Family business. I'm at the Central Market." Musa frowned. His relationship with Ahmed had been strained ever since his brother joined Traoré's personal guard. Different careers, different loyalties. The market was bustling with vendors shouting out offers, the smell of spices mixed with sweat. Ahmed waited near a fabric stall, dressed as a civilian, but with the poise only a military man can have. "What is it?" Musa asked. Bluntly, "It's about our mother. She's sick again." The familiar code for dangerous conversations. They walked away from the crowd, into an alley between the stalls. "There are rumors circulating in the palace," Ahmed whispered. "Disgruntled officers are planning something. The commander is tightening security." Musa kept his face impassive. "Rumors are like dust in Harmattan." "It's not just rumors. Names are being mentioned." Ahmed fixed his eyes on his brother. "Including yours." A vendor shouted, offering mangoes in the distance, breaking the tense silence between them. "You always had a vivid imagination," Musa replied with a forced smile. "If you're involved, stop while there's still time." Ahmed's voice shook. "Remember the Zongo family after the last failed coup? 3 generations, Musa. Gone like smoke. Don't worry about me. Worry about our country." Musa stared at his brother. "Do you really think we're on the right track?" Ahmed backed away. "What I think doesn't matter. What matters is that our family has suffered enough. Father died for a government that fell a week later. Some causes are worth the sacrifice," Musa said. "And some betrayals are unforgivable," Ahmed replied, a strange glint in his eye. Back at the apartment, Musa barely had time to review his documents when a knock on the door alerted him. It was the agreed code. Major Ouedraogo entered, nervous eyes scanning the apartment. "We're compromised," he whispered, without greeting. "Diallo was detained an hour ago." "How?" Musa felt his blood run cold. "The Presidential Guard raided your home. They took everything. Konate managed to escape. He's hiding in Bobo Dioulasso. Bamba..." Ouedraogo hesitated. "We have no news." Ouedraogo handed over a flash drive. "All our plans. Destroy after use. We need to move on to Plan B, reaching the battalions in Koudougou." At that moment they heard military jeeps pulling up in front of the building. "Go around the back," Musa ordered. "I'll slow them down. If they catch me, we need someone outside to continue." "You're the mastermind behind this," Ouedraogo protested. "Exactly for that reason. In the name of Burkina Faso, Major." The door exploded with a bang. Masked soldiers burst into the apartment. "Captain Musa Sankara," an officer said, removing his helmet. "You are under arrest for treason." It was Ahmed. "On my orders, brother," he said firmly. "Lieutenant Ahmed Sankara, Presidential Guard Intelligence Service." "Why?" Musa asked as he was dragged out. "Because someone needed to save our family from your suicidal patriotism." The air in the underground cell of the military headquarters was thick and humid. Musa sat on the narrow metal bed, staring at the cracks in the ceiling. 3 days since his capture, this was the first moment of silence after exhausting interrogations. The metal door creaked. A guard pushed a tray of rice and sauce through the opening in the floor. 10 minutes, he grunted before closing the small door. Musa did not move. Hunger no longer bothered him. His thoughts were fixed on Ouedraogo, the other conspirators, and the look on Ahmed's face when he betrayed him. The door opened again. Ahmed entered, dismissing the guards with a gesture. "You need to eat," he said, indicating the untouched tray. Musa looked up slowly. "Have you come to check if your prisoner is still breathing?" Ahmed sat down in the only chair in the cell. He was in uniform, a new insignia on his uniform. He had been promoted. "I came because Colonel Bationo wants to know where Ouedraogo is. Dead, probably, like Diallo and the others." "No," Ahmed shook his head. "Only you and Diallo were captured. The others disappeared, including Ouedraogo, whom you helped escape." "Your situation is not good," Ahmed continued. "Traoré wants a public example. Execution in the square, broadcast on national radio." "What an honor," Musa replied with a bitter smile. "I can help you, Musa. But I need names, places. Where did Ouedraogo go? Who else is involved?" A thick silence fell between them. Outside, the sound of rain pounding on the metal roof of the barracks. "Help how?" Musa finally asked. "By securing a bullet in the head instead of hanging?" "Don't. You understand that I'm trying to save your life?" Ahmed stood up, frustrated. "After you were the one to condemn her?" Musa laughed humorlessly. "Interesting definition of help." "I did what needed to be done." Ahmed pounded the wall with his fist. "This country cannot handle another coup, another chaotic transition. This country is dying under Traoré. While he signs deals with foreign mercenaries, our people starve. And your solution is to spill more blood?" Ahmed shook his head. "That's how Sankara died. That's how we lost our father." The mention of his father silenced Musa momentarily. His father, a captain like him, had died during the 2014 riots. "Our father died defending his principles," he said finally. "Our father died for nothing," Ahmed countered. "And now you want to follow suit." A guard knocked on the door. "Time's up, Lieutenant." Ahmed straightened his uniform. "Bationo will conduct your interrogation himself tomorrow. He's not patient like me." He turned, looking his brother in the eye. "This is your last chance." Musa held his gaze. "You've chosen your side, Ahmed. I've chosen mine." Alone once more, Musa shuffled to the corner of the cell and removed a small, loose brick. In the hollow was the flash drive Ouedraogo had given him, the only one the soldiers hadn't found in their search. There was no way to access it, but its existence gave him strength. It meant there was hope. The sound of footsteps in the hallway made him quickly replace the brick. The cell door opened, and a different guard, younger, with nervous eyes, looked in. "Captain Sankara?" "Yes." "I'm from Battalion 41. We served together in Fada Ngorma." Musa approached cautiously. "Private Ouedraogo?" "Yes, sir. I have a message. From the Major." The young man slid a small piece of paper through the slot. Musa read the coded message. "Kodugu, Dori. Tomorrow." It was the code for Phase 2 of the plan, coordinated strikes on military bases. The strike was ongoing. "First light, sir," the guard whispered. "We are prepared to extract him during the confusion." Musa's sleep was interrupted by an explosion that shook the walls of his cell. Through the small barred window he saw that the sky was still dark. Too early for Ouedraogo's plan. Armed soldiers burst into his cell. "On your feet, traitor! Colonel Bationo wants you in the command center." The command center was a hive of activity. On the large map on the wall, markings indicated troop movements toward Ouagadougou. Ahmed stood beside Bationo, his face tense. "Your plan began earlier than we expected, Captain," Bationo growled. 3 bases attacked simultaneously, communications cut, and an armored column advancing toward the capital. "They've taken over the radio station," an officer reported. "They're announcing the fall of the Traoré regime." A radio operator intercepted communications. "The leader is Major Ouedraogo. He demands immediate surrender." Bationo grabbed Musa by the collar. "This is your last chance. How do they plan to take the palace?" "Colonel," Ahmed intervened, "let me speak to him in private." Bationo hesitated, then pushed Musa away. 5 minutes, Lieutenant." Ahmed dragged Musa into an adjacent room and closed the door. "You knew," he accused immediately. "All this time during the interrogation, you knew this was going to happen." "Not like this," Musa replied honestly. "Not so soon. Do you realize what you've done? The capital is under attack. Civilians are going to die." "Civilians are already dying under the regime you defend." A new explosion, much closer. The entire building shook. Ahmed drew his pistol and pointed it at his brother. "Give me one reason not to end this now." "Because I'm your brother," Musa replied simply, "and because deep down, you know I'm on the right side." For a long moment the brothers' eyes locked in silent battle. The sound of fighting grew louder outside. "What would you do in my place?" Ahmed asked finally, his gun still raised. "I would choose the people over a dictator. Justice over blind loyalty." Ahmed's hand shook slightly. "You were always the idealist in the family." "And you were always the practical one," Musa replied. "But what has your practicality brought to our country? More poverty, more oppression." Ahmed lowered the gun slowly, the conflict clear on his face. "What do you want from me? Help me get out of here. Help me stop the bloodshed. Ouedraogo will listen to me. And then what? Will I be executed as a traitor? No, I will guarantee your safety." Musa stepped forward. "We are brothers, Ahmed. Our father taught us to stick together." Ahmed took a deep breath and put his gun away. "May God forgive me." They moved quickly through the corridors of the nearly empty headquarters, Ahmed in the lead. When they reached the garage, they encountered 2 guards. "Lieutenant, the prisoner should be in his cell." "Direct orders from the president," Ahmed replied without hesitation. "I am taking him to a secure location for interrogation." When a guard tried to confirm over the radio, Ahmed knocked him out with the butt of his gun. Musa felled the other with a precise blow. In the garage, they found a military jeep. "Do you know how to drive?" Ahmed asked, tossing the keys to Musa. "Better than you," the older brother replied with a slight smile. The streets of Ouagadougou were surprisingly empty as they drove toward the radio station. Residents, accustomed to coups and counter-coups, knew when to stay indoors. Smoke rose from several points in the city. Ouedraogo attacked earlier than planned, Musa said. "Why?" "Information leak," Ahmed replied, checking his weapon. Bationo found out about Koudougou and Dori. They were mobilizing troops to intercept them. "How did they find out?" Ahmed looked at his brother, guilt in his eyes. "I told them, 3 days ago after I visited you in your cell." Musa gripped the steering wheel tightly. "And now you're helping me. Why?" "When I saw you, standing proud even in the face of death, I remembered our father, his integrity." Ahmed stared out the window at the city. "And then I realized you were right. This is not the Burkina Faso our father died defending." A checkpoint appeared ahead. Ahmed pointed out an alternative route through the Gungin neighborhood. The radio station came into view, surrounded by military vehicles. Soldiers with red armbands, the rebels' sign, guarded the perimeter. "I'll talk to them," Ahmed said. "If they recognize me as part of Traoré's guard, they can shoot." They approached on foot, hands raised. The rebels pointed their guns. "I'm Lieutenant Ahmed Sankara," Ahmed shouted. "I bring My brother, Captain Musa Sankara. We want to speak to Major Ouedraogo. They were escorted inside. Ouedraogo hugged Musa tightly. I thought we lost you, brother, Musa introduced Ahmed. My brother helped us escape. Ouedraogo eyed Ahmed suspiciously. The same brother who betrayed you? He knows how to get into the presidential bunker, Musa explained, and the positions of the loyal troops. Ahmed detailed the palace's defenses, the exact location of the bunker, and the planned escape routes. If we attack now through the northeast tunnel, we can minimize casualties, he concluded. Ouedraogo considered for a moment. Let's check this information. If it's true, we'll attack within the hour. The sun was rising as rebel forces, led by Ahmed, surrounded the presidential compound. In the makeshift command center, Musa coordinated communications. We're in position, Ahmed reported over the radio. We've found the tunnel access. Minimal resistance so far. The plan was to capture Traoré alive and secure his formal resignation. Inner perimeter secured, Ahmed reported a few minutes later. The troops are laying down their weapons. Then the sound of heavy gunfire exploded over the radio. Ambush, Ahmed shouted. Bationo is waiting for us. We need reinforcements. Musa grabbed a gun. I'm going with them. It's too risky, Ouedraogo protested. My brother is there, he replied simply. When he arrived with reinforcements, the compound's inner courtyard was in chaos. Bodies on both sides littered the ground. He found Ahmed wounded, exchanging fire with soldiers positioned at the bunker's entrance. Bationo has Traoré inside, Ahmed said, holding his bloodied arm. If the bunker is sealed, we'll lose our chance. Ahmed glanced at a jeep packed with explosives. We can use it to open the bunker door. It's suicide, Musa protested. It's our only chance, Ahmed replied, running to the vehicle before Musa could stop him. Cover me, Musa shouted, following his brother. Ahmed reached the jeep first. Musa reached the passenger door. No, Ahmed shouted. One is enough. We are brothers, Musa said, climbing in anyway. Until the end. The jeep sped toward the bunker entrance, under heavy fire. I always believed you were right, Ahmed said. I just didn't have the courage to admit it. The impact was deafening. The world turned to light and heat. Hours later, rebel forces had captured Traoré and Bationo. The coup had succeeded. In the ruins of the bunker entrance, rescue workers found a miracle. The Sankara brothers, wounded but alive, protected by a section of concrete that had formed an air pocket. A week later, at the military hospital, Ouedraogo, now the leader of the provisional government, visited the brothers. Burkina Faso owes you a lot, he said solemnly. Ahmed, his arm and leg in casts, looked at Musa in the next bed. Not me. Him. For never giving up on believing in the country. And in me. On the hospital radio, the announcer announced the new government's first measures: the cancellation of contracts with foreign mercenaries, a food distribution program, and the promise of elections in 6 months. Do you think it will work? This time? Ahmed asked. Musa watched the setting sun color the sky over Burkina Faso. I don't know, but we're fighting for the chance to find out.